Did he open? David, did he open?
Welcome everyone. This is Geophia Academy. This is Geophia Academy. Welcome everyone. This is Geophia Academy. We're here again, another edition of our monthly webinar. This is coming to us from Geophia Academy, Lagos, where we take students on Nigerian exams, foreign exams, and computer courses. Many of us have been here since January. This is the 8th edition of this segment. And by the grace of God, tonight or this evening, we'll be taking on a very important topic, the essentials of cybersecurity. The essentials of cybersecurity. This is one of the courses we take in Geophia Academy, where we have several students that have graduated, and as well as current students that are ongoing on the same course. So we are good to go with physical classes, online sections, home sections. So you can enroll in Geophia Academy for any of these courses, basic computer training from zero computer to tech world. You can enroll for Nigerian exam, JAM tutorials, WIET tutorial, GCE tutorials, or foreign exams, SAT, GMAT, GRE, TOEFL, IELTS. You can register for also adult education. If you have the challenge of reading and writing, we can take you through the basic learning of literacy and numeracy. And right this evening, we'll be taking one of our major courses. And we also help students and young people register for online programs, online courses, online registration, like NYSC registration in Geophia Academy. We're located in Lekki, Lagos. So you're all welcome this evening. We'll be taking off with the course this evening by one of our instructors, Mr. Victor. And make welcome Mr. Victor as he takes over for the classes. God bless you. Welcome everyone.
Okay, good afternoon, everyone. Thank you, enthusiasts and IT lovers. So, we are starting out for this month version of the free tech webinar by Geophia Academy, and it is themed Basic Essentials of Cybersecurity. So, I'm sharing my screen right away. I, I believe my screen is visible. Everyone can now see my screen. All right. These are the outline, the table of contents for the whole webinar section, which covers both today and tomorrow. We are going to look at what is cybersecurity. We're going to look at benefits of cybersecurity, cyber threats and attacks. We're going to look at basic security concepts. Also, looking at incident response and recovery. Then by tomorrow, we'll be looking at types of cybersecurity, networking, threat and risk management, as well as security testing. All right. So let's make progress. So we have what is cybersecurity? All right. Cybersecurity refers to the practices, technologies, and processes designed to protect digital information, computer systems, and networks from unauthorized access, use, disclosure, description, modification, or destruction. All right, I'm going to break this definition down bit by bit. Okay, when we say practices, technologies, and processes, what do we mean? We are talking about when we say practices, definitely it has to be it is human being involved, that is activities. And when we say technologies, we mean to say various technicalities that is associated, probably the hard skill, the the technical know-how, then maybe devices, machines, and all that are um, embedded. And now we are talking about cyber, so it is specifically directly related to computer. So every computer systems that is required to carry out this goal, that is covered under technologies. Then processes, these processes cannot be underemphasized, because cybersecurity is not something that it's not spontaneous. It's not something you just do once, and it's something that it is stepwise. It's you have to do when you do this. When you dictate, let's say you identify a threat, you try to mitigate it, you try to recover, try to so that, and that is what we call a process. So before you can able to mitigate everything around an attack or a threat, it is procedural, and that is regarded as processes. All right, designed to protect digital assets, that is every information that is digital, that appears on the screen, that is computer based. That is what a digital information is. Everything that is any information that you can see or you can get on the screen, or you can derive from the computer. So designed to protect that, to protect digital information, password and details, documents, all of them have, if they are digital, that is our concern. That is what we are talking about. All right. So then also protect computer systems. Last month webinar, we were able to elaborate on what a computer system is. from hardware to software to peopleware to firmware and every other aspect of the computer systems. So we're able to dissect and simplify the meaning and the scope of a computer system. So, and also we also have what we call networks. So now we're trying to protect digital information, computer systems, and networks from unauthorized access. So what does this mean? This means that there is always an intrusion. There's always an intrusion or an access to information systems, assets, even networks that are not authorized, that are not permitted. Now, so simply, cybersecurity is just about trying to take everything in place to protect. So that means that everything that is being done under cybersecurity is regarded as practices, technologies, and processes to do what? To protect digital information, computer systems, and networks from unauthorized access. That is to say, you can't get access to that system and to those information. So what are the things to do in order not to get an access into a system or digital information? That's what cybersecurity is about. So you cannot use it to protect from usage, to protect from what again? Disclosure. So those are the things we're going to talk about today, and we're going to elaborate on. All right. To also protect from disruption, modification, and destruction. So these are the several and these are the several events that or actions cybersecurity is securing or is protecting. So unauthorized access, use, disclosure, disruption, modification, or destruction. All right. Next, we'll be looking at essential cybersecurity practices. Essential cybersecurity practices. So in a cybersecurity practice, the first pillar, which is very essential, a personnel or any person should understand and inculcate, is what we call the CIA triad. I don't know if you are following me. It's what we call the CIA, capital letter CIA, and that means the C there means confidential, I there means integrity, then the last A means availability. So in every practices a cybersecurity person is trying to action, you must understand that data, your data or people's data you are trying to protect is confidential. Or let me say the reason why cybersecurity is very essential is ensuring data is accessed only by authorized individuals, and that is basically confidential. Now let me break that down. Your password to your bank application is confidential. So the bank organization should do everything possible so that your information is confidential. Do you understand? From your password, for your assets, your account balance, the money itself, everything that has to do with your data in their system must be kept confidential. Then the idea is what? Maintaining the accuracy and reliability of data, and that is what we term as integrity. That is, your account balance is reading 1.5 million. On no account should it appears to be 1.2 million, or in fact 1.7 million. It could be more, but it has to be accurate. The exact amount that is in your account should be there until you yourself are the one that what you add to it or you subtract from it. So that is integrity. Data integrity has to do with what? Maintaining the accuracy and reliability of data. So this is very paramount for in understanding cybersecurity practices. So you need to have bear that in your mind that okay, your data, why I need to practice cybersecurity is because data has to be confidential. Data has to have integrity, accuracy, and reliability. Then lastly, availability, CIA, availability. That is to say, guarantee that systems and data are accessible when needed. So if you want to know that, oh, there's proper cybersecurity put in place in an organization, your data as a user in their system must be available at all times. There should not be any disruption or distortion of data. So your I mean to say your data at all times must be what? Must be kept accurate. Must be kept accurate at all times. So at all times. All right. So quickly, as an individual, what are the practices that it is very, very essential to inculcate with a strong knowledge of cybersecurity, whether you are practicing it as a career or you have the understanding just to protect your systems at the cyber level. All right. For individuals, use strong passwords and multi-factor authentication. We call it MFA. I'm going to explain that. Excuse me. So use strong passwords. That is to say, what is a strong password? A strong password is a password that cannot be guessed. It cannot be guessed, and even let me say, even password checker or password guesser. There are some there are some software that can easily try to guess password. They cannot do it when you are using a strong password. Let me give you an example of a strong password. An example of a strong password is Olawale at 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 star hash. That's just an example. It can be Olawale, it can be Maria, it can be whatever the first name is, your or any name you want to use. You can even use Ajayi Dada at 31287. Now, the problem why many people or many persons use easy passwords is because of the aspect of remembering. So it's always important that you can you use strong password always. All you need to do is keep the password somewhere. Maybe you write it down in a safe place, in a safe and secure place, or you store it in your your Google password system. So when you let's say you put a password to a social media account, Google will ask you, you are using Gmail to sign up to that account. Google will ask you, do you want to keep this password so you can save that password there. It's called password manager. All right. So, but it's very important to use strong password. Then multi-factor authentication. You take that seriously. What does that mean? If you want to sign up to an application or you want to sign up to a software, apart from registering your details and putting your password, the system will require we want to verify your Gmail or some of your do some verification by then sending you an OTP in your mail or in your phone number. So by sending you an OTP in your mail or phone number, that is a multi-factor. So in authenticating, maybe you want to log in. Let's just log into you want to log into a GitHub account, or you want to log into any social media account. And by logging in, they send you a code first to verify that are you the one logging in with your username and password. So you have to put in that code. That code can be sent to your line, your phone number, or your mail. So that is a multi-factor. That is, it is more than one. It is more than one. Two-factor authentication or multi-factor authentication, and sometimes it's more than two. That's why we use the word multi. Secondly, as an individual, you need to keep software, applications, and systems updated. You need to keep them updated. That is, softwares and applications go outdated. So what does that mean? That there's the manufacturer of those software give those software a short span of time. Maybe weeks, some are days, some are weeks, and some are like a month or more. That after that period, you need to update it. You need to do like you are reinstalling that application or software. And what is the importance of that? The importance of that is prior to the time of updating, the software might have be contaminated or be modified or disrupted. But the updating helps to what? Helps to renew and helps to do a cleanup on that particular software application. So that is why updating software is very, very essential. All right. Next is be cautious of suspicious links. It is not all links as an individual. It is not all links that you need to what? That you need to click or you need to run in your devices. It is not all link that you need to be conscious of suspicious link. You need to check. You need to check that link. If you over on the link, if the link does not start with HTTPS, in the course of the webinar, I'll explain more on that. If the link does not start with HTTPS, don't click on it. So be cautious of suspicious links, emails, or attachments. I will, in the course of this webinar, we expatiate more on that. On that, how to be cautious of suspicious links, emails, or attachments. All right. Regularly back up important data. Regularly back up important data is very, very essential. This is a good practice in order to save your data or your files from unexpected antivirus. Always back up important data. Then next, use secure Wi-Fi connections. It is not any Wi-Fi you see. Some Wi-Fi are not they are not secured. They are not secure. They are not passworded. They are not passworded. What they want you to use that free Wi-Fi. They want you to use it to see it as a free Wi-Fi and what and and just click on it. So the moment you on your Wi-Fi, you see one hotspot that is just free. You want to just take the advantage. Most of those free hotspot are what they are. I mean traps. They are traps. So you need to avoid public networks. All right. Then install and update antivirus or anti-malware solutions in your devices, be it your phones or your systems. You need to always make use of antivirus. All right. And for organizations, um, the common or let me say essential practices to inculcate as an organization is implement intrusions detection systems or firewalls. So let's say you are for your website, you have to ensure that you implement firewalls and intrusion detection systems, and that is done by your hosting provider. Your hosting provider would have done that for you. Would have done the security part of that for you, whereby your website, your applications is what is secured. So they make use of firewalls and intrusion detection systems. Show access control. So these practices are very important to inculcate both for individuals and um, organizations. All right. Quickly, what are the benefits of cybersecurity? The first on this list is business continuity. Cybersecurity is just here and there. Everybody wants to, everybody is diving into it. Be it an individual, organizations, they okay. So the first is business continuity. Cyber attacks can disrupt operations, resulting in financial losses, service disruptions, and damage to an organizational reputation. Cybersecurity measures protect critical systems and data from cyber attacks, ensuring continuous operation and reducing the risk of downtime. So that is in fact, that's one of the most essential, you know, importance of cybersecurity, business continuity. If you don't want, the more you are investing on the business, the more you should be looking at how can all this business setup be secured. So it is a very essential, aspect of tech. Secondly, it enhances productivity. This may involve this may involve cyber threat detection, endpoint protection, and access controls that assure the availability of the system and data, and making employee more productive to work efficiently because of the low turnover time. Improvements in productivity of employees will enhance the delivery of business objectives to ensure competitiveness. What that means is when cybersecurity is in place, when cybersecurity is in place, systems are less distributed, they are less distributed or they are not distributed at all. So as a result, employees productivity increases. Employees productivity increase. So if there is always endpoint protection. When we say endpoint, the word endpoint in cybersecurity means devices. That is, if your devices are well protected with endpoint security, we'll be looking at that tomorrow, what an endpoint security means. So with endpoint security, employees tend to work more productive. Employee tends to work more productive. All right. Next is regulatory compliance. Many organizations have specific regulations and legal requirements concerning data protection and cybersecurity. Compliance demonstrates an organizational commitment to maintaining a secure environment for stakeholders. So, as an organization that inculcates cybersecurity or that practice cybersecurity, they tend to make their employees compliant to several regulations around cybersecurity. That is to say, companies' data are not divulged without permission. Do you understand? So to some extent or to a large extent, cybersecurity is even more of a culture than a technical activity. So it's more of a culture, like make data confidential. To protect data, every individual is a collective action. Every individual must what? Must be compliant that this data must be secured. This data is confidential. At times there are some data that can be divulged just by me speaking to some another person. This password we are talking about, okay, let's forget the fact that okay, an attacker can use several means like SQL injection, use a lot of intrusions and a lot of technicalities to get into your system to bypass your password and the like. But then that password can easily be divulged by an employee if cybersecurity is not inculcated in that organization. So if there's no cybersecurity culture practices in that organization, it is the easiest way for an attacker to, disrupt or destroy the organization's what system. All right. Next, we are looking at information privacy. Yeah, it's similar to what I've said before. Cyber security protects personal and sensitive information from unauthorized access, preserving privacy and confidentiality. Okay. Next, we are looking at preservation of data integrity. Cybersecurity ensures data accuracy, reliability, and trustworthiness by preventing unauthorized modifications, tampering, and or disruptions. Then also protection against cyber attacks. So we have it safeguard computer systems, networks, and data from unauthorized access, attacks, and theft. It defends against hacking, data breaches, identity thefts, ransomware, and malware infections. Then also cybersecurity helps to assist remote working. When you know that the devices that the employees are using are well protected with, are well protected in all aspects of cybersecurity, be it network security with endpoint. So you know that okay, there's more reliability and dependability. So it helps to it enhance remote working. It improves data management as well as data safety for hackers. Then another one is financial losses reduced, or there's no even financial losses at all. So then protection of intellectual property, all right, because when there's trustworthiness on an organization, the intellectual property is what is protected, all right. All right, next we are looking at cyber threats and attacks. What are cyber threats? What are cyber threats? We have cyber threats and attacks. We'll be looking at some in this webinar right away. All right, cyber threats are malicious activities targeting digital assets, and the most common cyber attacks include malware, which are viruses and ransomware. We have phishing. We have phishing, tricking users into revealing information. Revealing information. We have DDoS attack, overwhelming systems with traffic. Then also we have insider threats, that is malicious activity by trusted individuals. So there's no way you talk about cyber threats or attacks that you won't talk about the insider threat. In fact, the insider threats most times um, take larger percentage of threats and attacks in cyber in any organization or in discussing about cybersecurity. All right. These attacks aim to steal data, cause disruptions, or gain unauthorized control over systems. All right. So, as I said, cybersecurity threats are malicious behavior intended to steal information or to steal assets, digital assets. So, that is what a cyber threat is all about. All right. Okay. Let's look at types of cyber threats. We have phishing attack, the use of deceptive emails. Phishing attack is the use of the deceptive emails, text, or website to gain sensitive information. What does that mean? Use an email that is fake, or a link that is fake. Let's say a fake website, www.materialdesign.com. But that materialdesign.com you are seeing is not the real, it's not the real website. But how do you identify that? Just over on the website. When you're over on the website, that's to say you have to be conscious before you click any link over on it to see that the link, does it correlate with what you are seeing as a clickable link. So do you understand what that means? So that's what we call phishing. You understand? A website that is fake, deceptive. That is what phishing is about. So the use of deceptive emails, text, or what, or websites to gain sensitive information. So when you click on it and you put in your details goes to the wrong team. It goes to the wrong people. I mean, hackers or attackers. So attackers send this phishing link. Do you understand? They collect your credentials, and they use those credentials to make some harmful activities by stealing, by getting access and getting control of your systems or applications. All right. Next is ransomware. Ransomware, this is a malware that can encrypt data and make you pay to get them back. What does that mean? That is, your drive can be infected. When a user is infected by ransomware, the user data is locked. It is locked or encrypted. That when you say something is encrypted, it is masked. Do you understand? So you cannot even get access to your stuff, your information, and I mean, you cannot get information get access to your information. So until you pay, do you understand? Until you pay before you can get access to that your system back, and that's why they call it ransomware. Do you understand? So most times they come they come like a virus. So they come like a virus. So the next is denial of service. Denial of service is loading excessive load on a machine or network so that it stop working normally. So this is related to denial of service. This is related to a network. Do you understand? This is related to network when probably you make use of a free hotspot. Do you understand? At a point, they keep loading through that free hotspot that you connected to. They keep loading some, some excessive loads on your computer on that same network. Do you understand? Until you just see that your system is kind of crashed or is no more working, and as a result, they're able to get access into some of your your system. Do you get it? So that is denial of service. That your service is just shut down. Do you understand? So we need to take note of that. The next we are looking at is zero-day exploit. Zero-day exploit. Attackers take advantage of unknown vulnerabilities before programmers can fix them. So you just see that um, you probably are working on the internet. Do you understand? And maybe you want to download. Do you get it? Maybe you want to download, and even and that download link is a wrong link, but you're not conscious enough. So you need to over on the download link. Do you understand? And see if okay, is this link trusted? And more so, trying to download, maybe you want to download music, you want to download a file, or you want to download a PDF from a wrong site, from a wrong website. Do you understand? It could make you get vulnerable to cyber attack. It will make you get vulnerable to cyber attack. All right. Okay. Even to now. All right. Sorry for the break. I hope So, all right, as I'm explaining to you all that malware as a cyber threat or attack. So malware, for example, we have several malware. We have viruses, we have worms, we have Trojan horse, we have spyware, we have ransomware, we have hardware, and rootkits, botnets, and keyloggers. All right. So I'm going to go over these types of malware once again. If you have question, you can drop it at the chat box there. So I answer them, and I clarify whatever part is not clear. All right. So let me go over the cyber attacks and malware once again. First one here, we have virus. Virus attach themselves to the legitimate programs and replicate when the infected programs runs. So we have Stunet 2010. You understand? So virus is similar to virus, human being virus. So they attach themselves to legitimate programs. And how do you get infected? How do your computer system get infected with virus? That is from internet. Probably you enter into a wrong site, or you click on a wrong web link. You click on a deceptive download button. All right. So we also have another one that is called hardware. AD from the word advertisement. Hardware displays unwanted advertisement. Now, those are some of the ads that you see. Maybe you are watching YouTube, and those ads come up. Some of them comes with hardware. They come with unwanted. They come with how will I put it? Um, they come as a spy to come and disrupt your systems. If you are not careful, just click any ads. So it's not all ads that you respond to. So these are then we also have spyware, secretly monitors user activities, capturing keystrokes, browsing habits, and personal information. So they come to spy into your system, maybe through the internet, through free hotspots. So these are the aspects that you need to take. I've talked about ransomware. So the ransomware encrypts files on a victim's systems and demands a ransom for decryption key. All right. So what does that explain? They come to mask your system. They come to form a blockage. Then you have to pay before you can get access back to your computer system back. All right. So next we'll be looking at is incident response and data disaster recovery. Incident response and disaster recovery. What is this about? This is basically about um, you can always prevent cyber attacks and threats, but most sometimes you need to also understand that your carefulness might not be enough. So when there's any incident, what can you do, or what do you need to do? What are you meant to do as an individual before you start calling professionals to mitigate those incidents? All right. So incident management is the process of identifying, assessing, and responding to security incidents such as data breaches, malware outbreaks, or unauthorized access to a data and computer systems. All right. What this is talking about is identifying and assessing, as well as responding to security incidents. So, in any way that your systems get breaches, so this is still under what? Under cybersecurity. You need to understand incident response and disaster recovery. If by any means your systems encounter data breach or encounter malware outbreaks. So what are the processes? What are the activities to inculcate to put in place to ensure that um, disasters are recovered, things are made normal, and the business continues, or computer operations is made to continue. So that is all what incident response is about. Then business continuity is a comprehensive strategic approach to maintaining critical business functions during a disruption. Let's say there's a disruption. So what are the strategic approach to maintain that business continues? Now let me cite an example. Early this year, or the end of, okay, I think the last quarter of last year, towards October, November, or December, MCN encountered an incident whereby um the airtime that was the airtime that users loan from them. I mean, they give access to borrowing of airtime. Just so airtime or data that users borrowed from MTN, all of them was wiped nationwide across all your users nationwide and beyond. So everything was wiped off. That is a cyber attack. Now, that is not because MTN is not putting maximum cybersecurity measures in place. No, that must have been caused by a very hyper hacking system. I don't know if you are following me. All right, but that's an example of an incident, a security incident. How do you respond to such incidents is what we call incident management and disaster recovery. How you respond, that is, how do you pull up your soldiers? Oh, my cybersecurity soldiers, yeah, you guys stand up. This is not the cybersecurity soldiers. You have the defensive and the offensive. Just so these people now, they need to what? They need to stand up and say, oh, this incident, let's mitigate this action. Do you understand? So that business will what? Will continue. So that is an example of, and after few days, maybe a day or two, the attack was mitigated. The attack was mitigated. So that is example of a very sound incident management system, incident response and disaster recovery. So every users that borrowed from them, such the exact amount was restored. That is this disaster recovery. You recover that disaster back, because if that was not recovered, that is a very big financial loss to MTN. So now, disaster recovery is a tactical component of BC, I mean business continuity, that focuses especially on restoring IT systems and data after a disaster. In essence, BC ensures the entire organization keep running. I mean to say, business continuity ensures the entire organization continue running with disaster recovery, providing technical abilities to recover essential abilities to achieve that goal. So one of the essentials of cybersecurity is understanding incident management, disaster recovery, and business continuity. In fact, it's one of a very peculiar aspect of cybersecurity. You can secure, you can protect, you can guide. At the same time, you should be able to what? To mitigate. You should be able to what? To respond to any incident of any kind. And before you can able to respond, able to let me call it fight back. It means that your system has a very strong backup measures in place. So it has a very strong backup measures in place. So that is what can help you to mitigate. You can be able to attack. All right, to fight back. Okay. Progress. So these are processes in inculcating incident response and disaster recovery. In the first section here, we have incident management process, IM, incident management process. Detect. You have to do detection. Detect what the threat is. What attack is this? Where is it coming from? Who did it? When was it done? To who exactly was it done? What is the nature? What is the scope? What are they trying to? What is the objective? What are they trying to do? So it is a response. There's no response without an action. So a response is action oriented itself. So when you say you are responding back to an action, you understand everything you are also doing. They are what? They are actions themselves. So the first action you are trying to put in place here is detection. You are identifying what exactly is going on, what exactly was being done. So the next is reporting. You report, you do classification, not classify. Oh, this was done on the cloud. You classify this was done on the network. You classify this was done on endpoints or devices. This was done on. Then the next thing to do is containment. Containment means you are trying to mitigate it specifically, using the right tools, technicalities, and procedure to mitigate the exact attack or threat. All right. Then next is eradication. Eradication, before you move towards recovery, you recover the data back, you cover the losses back. Then review. Review means what can you do better? How can you ensure that such an attack does not repeat, does not happen again? So it means that you are trying to reinforce your cybersecurity systems that you have inculcated, you've implemented. So you are trying to do a review on how the systems can be more reinforced and more better. Then also similarly, we have the disaster recovery process. Also, you have to do planning, data backup. You have to always ensure that okay, after you have and before you can even have a proper disaster recovery, you must have made sure that there's data backup. That's what I mean. You understand? So after that, maybe let's say something happened to the present system, you can now do system recovery back because it's a backup. So you have what we call service restoration. When the service is distributed, is modified, is altered, you can restore the service back through the technicalities that are involved. Then you do testing. All right. So basic terms and activities under business continuity processes are business impact analysis, risk assessment. You have to always assess risks that okay, this I want to say infrastructure. Okay, let's say this web application that we are building and we are hosting to the public. What are the risks that are attached to it? So you have to do an assessment. That's what we mean by risk assessment. Then you need to have a business continuity plan. I don't know, maybe you understand that. So like you have to, when we say business continuity plan, it's just like a combination of the incident management processes I've talked about just now and the disaster recovery. All right. So I don't know, maybe we have a question before I round up, answer the question and round up for today's session. If you have questions so far, you can put that on the chat box. I respond to that. Okay, I'm seeing someone on the chat box saying, someone on the chat box says, "Thank you so much, Mr. Victor, for this wonderful teaching. Please, about, oh, the person is trying to short a lot of things so much. About where you store your strong password, as you said, doing that in Google safe. Someone said it's better on your notepad. Please, more explanation on that. Oh, I think the person is trying to ask if using Google Password Manager safe, right? If that is what the person is trying to ask. All right. The answer to that is Google Password Manager is generally considered safe because Google has done their assignment when it comes to cybersecurity. And all right, if okay, let me first say that if Google is not even safe, then it means that your data that is in the Google platform is also not safe. If you have a Gmail, all your data is there. I don't know, maybe you understand that. You have your name, your full name, you have your age, you have your NIN, your most of your details are what are in the are online with Google. Your date of birth, your year you graduated from school, your this thing you are using your Gmail to, maybe you apply for your WAEC, you apply for university. So most of your systems are there. So that is the first thing I just want to talk about first. Even your details are even with Google. So far you have Gmail in their system. All right. So it is generally considered safe because it is less secure, but it is less secure than dedicated third-party managers. Like maybe you have a third-party manager that is unknown. Let's say one random website. Do you understand? Do you get it? But then now let me now explain a little why Google Password Manager is considered safe. It's considered safe. That is going to, a bit. This question is a bit extending us to the aspects that we are going to tomorrow. Or the aspect we are going to tomorrow, we are going to talk is talking about some. Okay, some of the aspects we are going to tomorrow is about regulations, organizations that regulate data protection and security. So we have the GDPR. Do you understand? So there are some organizations that for example, let's say before you set up a bank, you need to what? You need to, as an organization, before you set up a bank or set up an organization, that you deal with people's data and you deal with people's information, confidential information. You need to be compliant. These organizations is going to give you they are going to give you something we call them. Uh, you are meant to sign some documents. Do you understand? As an organization, that people's data will be confidential. I don't know. Maybe this the person that asked this question is following me. So you need to what? You need to the organization is meant to what? To, for example, if you want to set up any organization that use people's data in Nigeria, one of the organizations that will enforce that people's data are protected, it is NDPC. That's okay. That's the commission now. Nigeria Data Protection Commission. Do you understand? Do you get it? So you need to undergo a lot of processes that is that is meant to be in place. Do you understand? Before your organization can make use of people's data, can store people's data, can do anything, can even retrieve or collect people's data. So if there's in any way any data breach from that your organization, do you understand? Let's say from Google, for example, do you understand? There's a lot of fines, penalty, and in fact, it's going even result to business termination. Do you understand? So that is one of the another aspect that you need to look into. Now, let me now explain how the let me now explain how your password is now secured. One of the technicalities that Google, for example, make use of is what we call encryption. Do you understand? They on their own platform, they use some technicalities called encryption. That is, they covered your what? They mask that your password. Do you get it? They mask it. They give it a coverage. Do you understand? Do you get it? So that is what encryption is. So in any way you want to get access to their system, what you'll be seeing, it was going to look like an Arabic. That's what we mean. That's what we mean by encryption. You'll be seeing Arabic. Just that. Even when you say you want to what, you want to get access to that your own password in their system. That's what encryption is. That is to say, is going to is going to look like a different, ununderstandable text to attackers, even if there's by chance a way of getting reach to that password. Just understand. So a lot of technologies have been implemented by Google to ensure that your password is safe to a very large extent. Just understand. So I don't know, maybe that answer your questions. So basically, Google use strong encryption for your password, and your information is encrypted on your device before it sends to Google servers. Do you understand? So even before as you are storing that your system, as you are storing that your password is encrypted to them, they too they do internal encryption. So do you understand? So I and as a result, it's going to ensure that the password is kept very, very safe. So I hope that answered your question. All right. Okay. The person said yes, I am. All right. Thank you. So any other question before we wrap up today's session? Any other session, or should I put questions on the chat box to know if we are following? So so a question is on the chat box. Who can explain? Someone should explain incident response and management. What do we understand by incident response and management? How can we manage, an incident? So in 30 seconds more, we are still waiting for response. How can we explain, or what do you understand by incident management? Okay. I don't know. I guess most of us in this webinar, we are muted or we are not fully. We can just join and be doing something else. It's we inculcate us to ensure that we participate. That is where we could drive maximum um, value, and you can you can derive a lot from what we are teaching out. So you always ensure that you are concentrating, yeah, and less distracted. So you could be able you could understand from start to finish what the theme of the webinar is about. All right. Answering that question I put on the chat box, basically, incident management is process of detecting, responding to, and um, resolving unplanned. Do you understand? So, in as much as you are trying to protect yourself as an individual or organization, you should ensure that proper backup plans, they are made, they are made available, they are implemented and inculcated. Do you understand? We call it a standby. So a standby is made available. So it's ways of detecting, responding to, and resolving unplanned service disruptions. I don't know if you get that. So unplanned service disruptions or attack or cyber attack of any kind. Did you get it? So to restore operations and minimize negative impact on the business, and also ensure that there's business continuity. All right. So incident management is just like a central of all central of activities when it comes to cybersecurity. That is to say, it's the essence of cybersecurity is to ensure that business does not fall into loss. A bank cannot open a bank now, or organization does not open the organization, and there's no there's no security in the at the in front of the compound. Do you understand? So what that security is doing for a physical building, that's the same thing cybersecurity is doing for the business. So the essence of cybersecurity actually is for business continuity, to mitigate service disruptions. And all of that is what is pronounced when you were able to implement incident management. So that is basically what incident management is about. That's what is that basically I asked on the chat box to explain. So this practice is just crucial for IT and development teams, helping to reduce downtime, improve service quality, and maintain business continuity. All right. So why it matters is that it reduces downtime. If there's a cyber attack of any kind, and the system in which people wants to use, just imagine that you have millions and billions of users using that your website or web applications, but the web application has been attacked by hackers. So, but when you have proper incident management and this disaster recovery plan on ground implemented, you could you can always reduce downtime. You could improve, enhance service quality. You understand? You can, and that actually is going to boost productivity and trustworthiness uh, of of the organization by the users. They're going to build trust, build reliability, and build confidence because they know that their data, do you understand, is confidential, is are always available, that it has integrity by accuracy and the likes. And the organization solution that users are using is always intact. Do you understand? So this is a very core of business strategy. Do you understand? Because the organization's reputation, the brand reputation is protected by always inculcating cybersecurity. All right. Okay. That is the end of today's session. and we'll continue from there tomorrow. So, Madam can the wrap up.
Thank you, Mr. Victor. Thank you, everyone that joined us this evening. Continue again tomorrow, the same time, 4 p.m., the essentials of cybersecurity. And I believe many of us that joined from the beginning would have captured few things from the objective of this very section. Remember, this August edition is a monthly program that holds the last Friday and the last Saturday of the month of every month. And by tomorrow, we'll wrap up with this month's edition. This is coming to you from Geophia Academy, where we prepare students for Nigerian exams, foreign exams, and computer courses, taking students from basic computer to graphics, to video editing, to tech world, UI, UX, digital marketing, and also the course we just did now, cybersecurity. It's just a brief section of the course. And by tomorrow, we'll be able to get deeper again for personal knowledge and also business engagement. And generally, we also prepare students for Nigerian exams like JAM, preparatory classes. GCE is already ongoing, WAEC is ongoing, and people are already registering for next year JAM. You can as well recommend as many that are around you to get in for these major courses and also prepare for foreign exams, IELTS, test for English, TOEFL, SAT, GMAT, GRE, as well as IGCSE exams. You relax and remember to join us again tomorrow. Share the link to someone and let us get to know some of these basics so that when you take the decision for yourself to learn any of the packages, you know, this is not as hard as it is assumed. Thank you so much for joining. And to those of us that have been joining us from the beginning of the year, we truly appreciate and we believe that by tomorrow we'll be here again to complete this section. Thank you so much for the crew, the technical crew that have been there behind the scene, and also the facilitator tonight. God bless you, Mr. Victor, and thank you everyone for joining. This is coming to you from Geophia Academy. God bless you. See you tomorrow.